Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. You got your water. You got your thoughts. I heard. Got your papers. And as always, so don't forget. I have missed you. It has been a month of bloops. Okay? That's the best way I can describe it to you. Third time's a charm. Third time's a charm. As always, you guys grab your waters, get all your stuff that you need. Grab a snack if you want to, because to be honest with you, I'm kind of hungry and I might end up snacking on some M&Ms that I got here in the office in the studio. But how's it been going? What's new? What has this Mercury retrograde done to you, my friends? As always, I am your host, Samantha Jett, and welcome back to Offensive Healing. We're going to smoke in a pancake and talk about it. I don't know if anybody else has been realizing the effects of the Mercury retrograde. It's actually getting ready to end. Thank the sweet baby Jeebus. I'm so grateful for that because, oh my gosh, they said it was going to have an issue with communication. All right. We're going to have communication problems. Guess what? Communication problems all around. If you guys are on the YouTube channel and you're able to watch me right now, do not say nothing or come after me for my pimple patch. I just discovered them and I got my first big ass pimple, the first one that I've had that I have not been able to spot, treat, and get rid of instantaneously. And since I was probably a teenager, which completely messed me up. And I even told my husband, I was like, dude, this is getting ridiculous. I'm even getting super bad acne because I got to experience the joys of Mercury retrograde cycle. So that was fun. Hormones all out of whack, nothing wanting to go the way it was supposed to. I don't even want to say that. It wasn't going the way I had wanted it to, but things ended up going the way they were meant to go. And that was the harsh reality part. And it wasn't even a harsh reality because it didn't hurt. I mean, it hurt a little bit, but it didn't it wasn't I don't know if you can remember back to times when we would, when our lives were a little bit more chaotic. And it just seemed like no matter what you did, everything was just ugh. But then whatever. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but what I'm trying to kind of say is the last month, the things that have occurred and played out and have gone the way they've gone, I'm proud of myself because okay. So listen to me talking in circles. You guys are probably confusing the hell out of you. I'm trying to do something off camera real quick. But so you know how they say that the past will come back into your face and tempt you, okay, when to see if you're ready for your blessings or not, right? So theoretically, if you ever want to know if you're headed down the right path, okay, so to speak, things will start to happen to you. Whether it be old people, old situationships, old friends, or something plain that you've kept in your life that you've known for a long time you needed to get rid of, okay? So we all know, we know when something's not good for us, when source is telling us that it's not meant for us to let shit go. Okay. And we choose to ignore it because whatever attachment we might have to it. Okay. Whether it be a person, place, or thing, we always end up in some sort of fatal attraction, if you will, with something, because that's just our human nature. We get attached. Okay. So before the change, before the acceptance, before the willingness to want change and to make journey be this new journey that we're on, you know what I mean, this healing journey that we're on together. Before, in the past, you would handle situations and situationships and certain things in a certain type of way that usually ended up left you stuck in the relationship, situationship, or whatever it was. Okay, no matter which way we sliced it, we always found us. You know what I'm talking about. You've had those relationships that, whether it be a friendship, situationship, work environment, whatever it may be, that you've kind of talked yourself into staying despite all of this change, okay? Despite every change and every effort that you've been making in order to better your life, there's these certain things that you have held on to and you have literally rationalized in your head that even though they don't benefit you in where you're heading, that you kind of have to hold on to them. You know what I'm saying? So we have those situationships and situationships and circumstantial ships. Yes, these are my own words, you guys. Okay, so don't come for me. I believe they're my own words. Well, some of them are. Anyway, anywho, this is beside the point, you guys. But there are those certain things that we hang on to throughout our journey, and we just rationalize it like, oh, I'll keep so and so around because I've known them so long. They're my friend, and despite that, the fact that their path that they're headed on is now very obviously the opposite direction of my path, because we all have our own paths. And here's the most saddest part about like everything. It's not even a sad part. It's because it's not sad, because if you honor love with love, then it's not sad. Okay, then you can honor it for what it was. But like you cannot bring everybody with you. And that is, I can honestly say, since probably August of last August, okay? Easily. It's probably has to be August, because I have been cowering ever since August, because I had certain things pop up in my life that forced me to look at myself in a way that was like very fucking uncomfortable, but it sparked the evolution change that I went on, okay? So, about last August, okay, I realized that one, I had spent a lot of time pouring into people around me what I was supposed to be pouring into myself. Okay, that was first thing. That's exactly what started me on the path and the journey and like going down the road I'm going. I had a thing happen, and literally in the midst of talking to this person that I had that thing with, I ended up having a conversation with myself, reflected through them, and it was really breathtaking, and I needed it. So might as well go into the story time. I had gotten into a conversation with a friend, and in the conversation with the friend, I had I had no choice but to be brutally honest with her. And then by being brutally honest with her, I was then able, without, because I'm not one of those people who's going to say stop right here. I say I'm perfect all the time because I'm willing to admit when I'm wrong, and I'm willing to admit when I'm stagnant, and I'm willing to admit that I need growth. And then I go and I do that growth and I do that hard work. Okay. That is why I'm saying I'm perfect. That is why I say you are perfect, because we will acknowledge and see our shit for what it is. And we're going to clean our shit up, and we're going to make sure we learn how to shit more properly. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So anyway, so in the midst of having this conversation and being honest with my friends, because the one thing that I have abandonment issues, there's no secret about it. We'll slowly, like I said before, get into story times and for instances of, so that way people can understand why and how I got to where I'm at. But my past story no longer makes up who I am. It is just something that has happened. And that is a powerful thing, being able to get into the control of that. Your past story and what happened to you is not you. It's not your story anymore. That is, it's past. Okay. Anyway, so in the midst of having this conversation with her, I had this conversation with myself, and I had no choice but to be brutally honest with myself. Okay. And it dawned on me, because I even remember saying, quote unquote, I can't bring you with me, and I need you to do the work so that way you can come with me, because I'm going to leave everybody behind, and I'm really, really, really stuck on that. And when I said that out loud, the amount of control and power that kind of came back into my own self was shook it. Like I was like, oh. So it's been a fucking battle for me, because I have had to come to the realization and not assumption. I've had to come to the realization. I cannot bring everybody with me. I can only lead by example. And if those who are meant to, they will follow. They will come. They will not follow me, because I don't want anyone to follow me. It's not that. I just want other people to be able to come to the step up in their own lives and their own journeys to where they can realize and see outside of themselves for what it really is. But if I can inspire somebody else to do the hard work on themselves to be able to heal those deep wounds, so that way they can get to back to a place of love and happiness, that's what I want to do. Because that's what I'm doing for myself. Quite literally. Because happiness is not a place that you go to. It is a place that you create, and then you have to maintain it, and then you have to keep recreating it, because it will shift and it will change, because as you shift and you change, more things and more things come up. So, like I was saying, since August, I've been on this, this kind of journey, and it is a lonely journey because I'm realizing I cannot bring everybody with me, and I want to. If I could metaphysically stick everyone in my back pocket and be like, okay, time to boing and jump through the fucking through the levels, I would, but I can't. But by trying to shove all these people in my fucking pockets and jump up, I've kept myself down. So, well, not down, but like not elevating as hard and as fast as I should have. So, with that being said, I just lost that thought. Hold on, I gotta get that back with the kids and everything. I think this is the wall right here to the right of me is where I'm gonna put the sound barrier things that my son bought me. So, by realizing what I was doing, I've learned to stop trying to put the people in my pocket. I can't put you in my pocket no more. But I can show you how to jump. And if you're watching me, then you'll learn. And then we can go ahead and figure out the next level together. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the type of shit that I would love. And that's what I'm striving for. However, okay, the one thing I can honestly say, and this has been like very, very true in my motherfucking life for the last month, and it's, I don't know if it's Mercury retrograde or what, the moon or whatever the eclipse is, but it stirs some shit up, baby. And I'm gonna tell you right now, dude, I see you. Universe, I see you. Okay. I finally understood what they mean. Once you open your eyes, you can't close them. Once you wake up, you can't close them. So how do you know you're about to level up? How do you know you got something really fucking good coming your way and really manifesting inside you, and you got some real shit stirring and brewing? When the universe brings back old motherfucking shit, same scenarios and same situationships, and that just to see how you're gonna fucking handle it. Universe is going well, I can only speak on myself. So universe has done smacked me in the face with some things that are like, okay, it's like either shit or get off the pot, bitch. Like, what you gonna do? She has smacked me so hard in the nose hole with the stank of the public porta potty that I have to shut the door to that now. There are certain things and certain things, they are going to fall off. They're going to close the door. They're going to or run away. They ain't even going to be existent no more. Do you know why? Because I refuse to entertain that bullshit anymore any which way I used to. Because at the end of the day, if I'm sitting here wasting my time with negative ass motherfuckers, then I'm wasting the messages that universe is sending me, and I ain't got time for that. And again, that goes down to me putting shit in my pocket. So when you start to notice your patterns and you start to notice things like it could even be someone from like that you've been kicking it with every day, that like some fuck shit will happen, like something could happen. I don't know if it's because it's like there's been communication issues with this Mercury retrograde, but it's just something about I refuse to take the bullshit crumbs you give me that wasn't that didn't coincide with me, this Mercury retrograde. So I did have to get rid of a bunch of negative people. I got rid of a lot. And I had to. Do you know why? Universe put them people in there to be like, okay, here I'm trying to give you these blessings, which is something positive, but you want to like not accept them because I'm asking of you of the one thing. You need to remove all that does not serve you. You have to remove all that does not serve you. And then you can have it. I kept getting message, and I was ignoring it this whole month, you guys, this whole month. To be honest with you, since 2024 has started, it has been test after test after test after test. Universe has used my husband to test me, my children, my father, my in-laws, all of it to test me, to see how I handle it. Either I'm going to do what I always did and keep my mouth shut. And I'm not talking about being disrespectful, you guys, okay? Because I don't condone that. I am very much coming into my soft era, into my femininehood, and us women, we don't have to act like that, okay? We can get our point across with fucking kindness, sweetness, and motherfucking uh, molasses or something. Like, I'm trying to think of something that's really thick and strong and sweet that if you fuck with it too much, it will hurt you. Molasses, because you can get stuck in some molasses and, I don't know, drown like the cartoons, right? Anyway. So normally how I would do it is, keep my mouth shut, but I would keep the peace. Well, no, fuck that. I'm not trying to rock nobody's peace, because in order to get peace, you have to be peace, right? So instead of being argumentative and being ignorant, I'm going to let you know how you hurt me. And then, quite frankly, I'm not going to give you access to me no more. I can't allow time and time again for the disrespect and fuckery. I can't, and neither can you. And that's the biggest lesson that we're learning. And I really think that that's exactly what I've been trying to get and taught, have been being taught, is because the way the year has played out, it has forced me to tell the people that I love the most, kindly go fuck off somewhere. What you got going on with your life and what choices you're making for you don't condone to me, and it's not even on the same path that I'm at. So I want to be able to connect with you, but if I have to like get off my path to get on your path to be able to connect with you, I don't want that. And that's a boundary. That's right there is the reality, and that was the hardest reality for me to understand and like get into. But we needed to get there. And we need to get there with everybody, because at the end of the day, you guys, we are feeling the way we are feeling because we have let too many motherfuckers tell us how we're going to be, how we're going to feel, and what we're going to accept. I will love you until the day I die, but I will not accept your crumbs no more. I was watching some TikToks, and I was watching some memes and things, and there was this one woman, she's like, I'll bake the whole loaf for you, and you over here feeding me crumbs. And that really, really, really summed up exactly how a big wound of mine was feeling, because I couldn't put words to it. Because like I kept thinking, well, is it jealousy? No, it's not jealousy. Is it pick me syndrome? Am I upset because not everybody is like, I'm not everybody's cup of tea? And let's not get it twisted, you guys. I am a Leo. I love me, and I am never going to be everybody's cup of tea. And if I am not your cup of tea, sweetie, that's okay. I'm not going to lose sleep at night. But with some of the people that I felt were closest to me, I was like, well, they wouldn't be around still if they didn't like me in some sort of way. But people can like things and still not value them. Okay? And you need to let that one sink in. If the people you got around you cannot see your value, and especially if the people that you got around you aren't meeting you on your level, like whether it be intellectual and intelligent, almost the same thing. However, like if you like, I had kind of grown out of the similar like interests as the people around me. So now literally we're creating our own community here, you guys. my interests have gone somewhere, and I have, when you start to get into stuff and you start to do your journey, you start to get on your own journey and your healing path, you really, really, really learn who's down for you and who's not. And it's usually the ones you least expect that are still there when you're going through this craziness, like looking at you like, okay, what you learn? What, tell me, you tell me. You know what I mean? Like, so, and that's a painful thing for me personally. When that started happening, I was like, I actually tried to dull down my brightness to make them more comfortable. Like, I would literally go out of my way to try to, like, okay, I'm gonna do this, but I know they're gonna feel this type of way if I do this, so I don't even want to tell them. And then, like, I would get sad because, like, oh, they ain't happy for me. I wish I could tell them, because I wanted to share in my joy, but I couldn't, because the second I did say something, there was no interest. And I was like, okay, so, oh, okay, I need to either only be into what they're into and like talk to them about their things and try to help them and counsel them through their things, but don't I dare try to enlighten them and or bring them to my conversation, because they don't want to come to my conversation. And then now that I've gotten like I stopped. So once I started noticing that, I said kind of stopped in my, I was like, okay, I'll just be doing it in my closet, like secretly to myself. Well, I stopped doing that. I stopped my growth a little bit, and I hindered myself. And I actually, like, it was so, because I decided, and I made this self-conscious choice, and I made that contract with myself to be woke, to be open, to be aware, to be present in my motherfucking self and be aware of myself, because I want what I know that I got coming. I want to step into my power. I want to be the person that I know is inside and that is going to help you, help them, help her, help you, help grandma, help everybody. Like, I just want to be love. That's it, not be loved. I said be love. I just want to be a really good source of that. And that's what I'm meant to do. And I know it because I refuse to ignore my calling no more. But like, I made my choice and I tried. You guys, they say you can't close your eyes once you open them. You can't. I tried. Okay. Only way I could shut it off was back into a fucking bottle again and doing drinks and shots, like trying to keep on that lower vibration level with my people, because I was so afraid of leaving them behind. Well, 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 that motherfucking eclipse, y'all, that lunar and that solar. Now, sun is my guide, is my father. Okay, moon is my mother. My parents refused to let me fucking wear them rose-colored glasses anymore. Y'all, they done took that shit off and were like, no, no, you need to stop with this bullshit. You need to stop dimming down your light for only a few motherfuckers are even going to understand you for the moment. Cause yeah, so it didn't work, and I tried again. I tried hard, and I failed, and then I tried again. But the reality of it is it was inevitable, and there was no choice. I had to make the choice, me or them, and we choose us. We always choose us because we are love, and love is cruel and love is kind. And when you have to leave people behind, sometimes you have to just cut them off as like a gangrene fucking limb. You got to cut that shit off or it will weigh you the fuck down. You can't doctor it. It don't mean you don't love it still. Nothing but love for all of those, you know what I'm saying? But like, at the end of the day now, I set you free. Go do you. I cannot continue to pour into your cup no more, because I can't. And here's the thing is, I can't even get mad at realizing that people were feeding me crumbs, because they didn't know how to cook. They didn't know how to make the bread that I know how to make. And they didn't want to learn. That was the key part. They didn't want to learn how to cook the bread. I mean, I could teach you. I can show you. That's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm doing now. As I teach and I learn myself, I'm teaching you and learning you myself. Excuse me. We're going to light this back up. It's been a very interesting It's been a very interesting month. And I'm very much looking forward to how summer plays out for us and everything, you guys. And we're back. Ooh, I almost forgot to move the microphone. Sorry if you hear any big noises. We had to take a small break and bring it back to you. So, like I was saying before the break, it became apparent to me that, removing some, that universe was testing me to make sure that I was ready for the next level up, because they're like, okay, cool, we're going to flash all of the shit right in front of your face again. And I want to see this time how you handle it. It's like do you remember in grade school when we had to take the multiplication tests, like the 1 through 10s and stuff like that? And if you failed it, you retook it. You failed it, you retook it. It was always the same test. That's kind of how you know you're on your right path, is when you start to notice those type of multiplication tests being repeated in your head or in your life. And like I said, that can come through a situationship, friendship, relationship, job, whatever the situation is. That's why I say situationship. So because like I said, during August, it became apparent to me. And then slowly, I was like kind of hitting brick walls. I kept trying to do stuff, and I was hitting brick walls, just making sure my microphone wasn't muted, because that's usually what ended up happening to me. So like I was trying to achieve things, and I was trying to do things, and like different goals that I had set for myself. And I was like noticing that like every time I would get real closer, because we all know I have a thing with follow through. I have a very, very poor follow through game. Okay, let me rephrase that, because speech is what we get, right? I've been working on my follow through. My follow through actually has gotten a lot better. I've been able to be more consistent with the things that I'm doing. So that's a good thing. Okay. But so I kind of had attributed it for the last few months that, I was just having follow through issue, that, whatever the situation was, because like I said, I had stopped myself in the midst of I had tried to stop myself in the middle of my fucking journey, because I had noticed it taking me away from people. So I had tried to stop, but I couldn't stop it. And that's also another thing that I had like kind of come into like the idea, like, dude, I can't have my cake and eat it too. I can't be a fuck off and still get things that I want out of this life. And the longer I tried to learn a way to be toxically perfect, to like be able, oh, I can do it all. The more I tried to do it all, the more I realized I can't do it all. I can't be a low level subdwelling human and step into my rightful way. It doesn't work that way. So I had to let go. I had no choice but to let go. And I can honestly say I feel a lot better. I feel tremendous weight's been lifted off. There's still a few things that I'm working on, you know what I mean? Because I think that's one thing I think about the journey, this sober healing health journey that we're on, is discovering ourselves, this offensive healing journey. You know what I mean? I think that is one important thing that we have to remember. Give yourself grace and come at yourself with love. If you can approach everything from love, not with love, from love, because love is cruel and kind. If you can approach it all that way, then I think we're gonna make it, you guys. But we gotta let go of that does not serve us, and that happens to be the shit that's stopping us from getting to where we want to be. If I can tell other people where if I can tell other people and help them think of their dream and help them go for theirs, how come I can't put that same into myself? I can, I'm going to, I will. That is what I'm going to do. And to be honest with you, you guys, that's exactly what you should do. Whatever does not serve you, whatever does not inspire you, whatever does not challenge you, you need to let it go. Now, when I mean challenge, because some people can say addiction and stuff like that, whatever. Okay, because as we know, I'm going through my sober journey. Addiction doesn't serve you. as much as we think it does, it holds us back. So that's why we have to let go of it. So don't lie to yourself in that sense. Um, so, but yeah, now I'm going to be like, but yeah, some, uh-huh. So I think that is a beautiful realization, and it's a painful realization, but you can't grow without pain. It's impossible. When you work out and you grow new muscles, it hurts. You're sore. That's why they have rest days. So emotionally and mentally, make sure you have rest days for yourself, and you're there to check in with yourself and make sure that we know we're good. It can get very lonely, but I need you to understand that you need to be looking inward. Nothing outward is going to hinder you. And like nothing outward there is going to help you. It's going to hinder you from discovering who this is. You and you have to honestly let go and surrender, because it's the only way to do it. You have to literally become your own best friend, guys. And get real with your shit and realize why these certain people bother you. And that's because they represent certain parts of yourself that you need to work on. So go back inside and do the work. It's a shadow work that makes everything kind of go into circles, because you become really grateful for the people that, you know what I mean, the negative people in your life, because you don't want to keep them. You want to keep them long enough for you to realize how negative they are. Be like, ugh, I don't want that person away from me, around me. That's when you know you're ready to shed skin. And then you end up shedding your own negativity, because you'll realize that once those people have gone away from you, how much lighter and more light you has come into your world. Certain people are only meant to come into your world to show you and be reflections of yourself, so that way you know what you actually have to work on. They're not meant for you to keep looking at. Because if it's holding you in a stagnant position, and if you've already done the work and you're having to like dumb yourself down to keep certain people around, you need to stop. You need to let go of them. It's not good for them because they're not elevating, and it's not good for you because they're going to start bringing you back down to their levels. Today is Earth Day. We're going to switch over the story talk because I am kind of not lost in my thought, but like I'm going to ramble, and I already know this, you guys. So today's Earth Day. I'm very excited for when the kids come home, so that I know what kind of projects that they have been doing at school. Oops, sorry if you can hear that. I put cold coffee in my butter pecan ice cream, and it melted into a shake. But we all know I probably don't need any more caffeine. Anyway, so it's Earth Day. Kids are gonna come home, talk about some sort of tree or something. I bought a raspberry bush. We're gonna go plant the raspberry bush next to the strawberries. I think that's a good idea, don't you? The kids will enjoy doing it. I'll enjoy doing it. I've been slowly trying to get the garden together. The other weekend we did the front garden, and I got a bunch of bulbs in, and I mixed some seeds and some dirt and wheelbarrow. And then I had proceeded then to, there's this corner that's kind of like it's a corner of like a freeway almost where I live, and it's never really pretty with flowers. It's got greenery. It's like a concrete jungle. Well, I had made my mind up this year that I want to blow it out with flowers. I want wildflowers, sunflowers. I want all the flowers in that corner. Because at my house, I want dahlias. I got a whole front yard of dahlias coming up, and maybe a couple of sunflowers possibly. So my wildflowers, I designated that little corner. It's not really my corner, but I'm going to do it anyway. Make the world pretty. Be the change you want to see, right? So I got that whole corner going, and I was thinking about it because like for years I wanted to, because that corner is a very dreary, dingy corner. It's a pretty sad corner. It's seen better days, lots of accidents. When my husband and I first bought our house, I think I was like the first month we lived there. Okay, well, let me think about that really good. Yeah, I think it was like the first like couple months we lived there. I had we had just gotten and I had set up my office area down here. Previously, it wasn't a office; it was a grow room because I used to grow medicinals. I'm in the legal state, so it's kosher dill pickles. Okay, so I had set up all my stuff, and in the middle of the night, we had heard this really loud bang, and we were like, "What the hell?" And I'm like, "Oh no, it's my light!" So I jump up, run downstairs, check on my stuff. Everything's kosher pickles, everything's cool. So I go crawl in the bed, and then all of a sudden, we hear like this horn, this god awful horn, and sadly, somebody had. And this was like February when this happened, so the snow was out, and they had plowed the snow in a certain way. Well, apparently, either A, the person was drunk driving, or B, they fell asleep at the wheel. But they were driving, and when they drove, they lost control or weren't paying attention. But they were going super fast, like 55 miles an hour, or some shit like that, and they hit the snow bank and kind of went a little airborne and hit that guardrail. They did not survive. Um, it was pretty traumatical and it was pretty shaky, and it kind of ever since set the tone kind of in this house. There's been quite a few traumatic accidents, not to mention freeway accidents and all this stuff. It's pretty a traumatical corner, especially for somebody like me. There's a lot of energy here, so I decided after many years of staring that corner down, I'm going to grow flowers in that corner. I want to give it, because it's just like this perfect little patch of greenness, like behind this guardrail and shit. So I was flinging with shovels full, fling the kids to handfuls of just mud seed concoction. So I'm going to spend the next few weeks doing that same thing over and over again. We have a frost advisory coming in this morning, so I'm not going to go ahead and continue this week. I'm going to wait till probably the weekend, because it's supposed to be really, really good by the weekend. And then I got to get my backyard, but my backyard is where I grow my vegetables. You guys, there's something living in my garden. Okay, there's absolutely 1,000, no joke. My husband says it's a rat or a mouse, because I've been paying homage to the critter population, trying to keep them out of my garden. And they've already burrowed in there before I've even gotten anything in there. So now I have to come up with another way to critter proof my shit, because I've invited them into my yard. Keep the dogs out more would be a really good thing. I'm going to make a scarecrow and see if that don't work. I want to make a little scarecrow. Oh, that's a really good idea. I had gone to the dollar store and I found these little wooden figurines. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to paint them to look like little fucking scarecrows and little fucking critterations and little things to see if they won't scare off the critters. And I can stick some lights on them, some like solar lights. That should actually be a good idea. I wonder if we should do that. Me and the kids, that would be a really good project for the kids. I think so. I think that sounds like a good idea, you guys. I'm going to have to keep you updated on it. Don't forget to like, follow, and share. Also, don't forget that we're on the social medias. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. As long as the States holds on to this TikTok and we don't end up banning it, we'll keep on it. So I guess we're going to have to address the elephant in the room and the hiatus that I had to take. So a little background history story time, because I have expressed to you this is offensive healing, and you're going to get to know me, and this is my healing journey. And one thing that I've had to come to as of late, because we've had discussions about like stepping over the puzzle boxes and the boxes in the dark, and how you got to clean them up and move them around and pack and unpack them and everything like that. Well, April to about Mother's Day is always a rough patch for me. I have had, in my 37 years of existence, I've seen way too much trauma, and that has been my one thing that I know that I have to unpack as far as my shadow work, and I can admit it. I've had a lot of trauma and a lot of life loss in my 37 years of existence. Some very important people around me, and some very traumatic circumstances and situations have happened in my years, and particularly a lot of them in my adolescence, like when I was a child and stuff like that kind of stuff. I've gotten over a lot of my childhood trauma and my abuse. I forgive those who have trespassed against me. if you will. I have learned from them, and I've also learned how they make themselves apparent in my day to day parenting as myself. So therefore, I am able to check myself. So that I've gone down. But recently, like in my young 20s, I lost a lot of people, and I had a lot of bad shit happen, and I kind of just stepped over it and like acted like it didn't bother me. Well, from March to May, I over a span of, we'll say, 12 years, I have continued to lose people close to me. My grandmother, my mother, she passed away. I lost her in April, quite some years back. So that's always a hard one for me. Although it's not that hard because I believe in the metaphysical, so she's always around me. Her and I have conversations on the regular. I know it sounds a little schizophrenic. I went and got tested. No, it's not. It literally is. I am kind of gifted. Um, so my grandmother in April, one of my really, really good friends whom I attempted to try to help and guide and influence, lost her battle to addiction and ended up losing her battle to fentanyl, and she didn't even know that it was in there. So we lost her. She left behind three beautiful children, and it is a very painful memory for me. And that is something that I've had to accept and accept that I have not healed yet. So I tend to close up and get a little bit more to myself when I go through these things. So that was two. And then I have a really wonky relationship with the bio family. And I have a big, big heart. Okay. And even though I know that I can never, and because I can't, I've tried and I'm not there yet. We're not everywhere we need to be, but I'm not there yet. Um, I almost lost the ability to make the choice on whether I wanted my bio family in my life. I almost lost that choice around this time as well, which was pretty traumatical to have to be confronted with the reality of being somebody's only living relative, blood relative, and the impact that might have on you without even realizing it. So that's always been something, even though that person is no longer in my life to this day, it's still very, it was a very traumatical experience to have to get that call and have that experience, especially when that person's caused a lot of trials and tribulations in your life. And then, I had my friend and her children, they also tragically lost their lives to murder in May, which is really traumatic for me because unfortunately that one I kind of saw happening. And if you ever find yourself in a result of or in the midst of or a victim of domestic violence of any measure, I need you to get the fuck out and never go back. Abusers very rarely change their spots, and they very rarely do that work to help them grow themselves into good people. As far as with my personal experience, I can't give you stats, statistics. All I can do is give you my biased opinion. Domestic violence is domestic violence, and it is not okay. It is never okay for anybody to put their hands on you or your children, or for you to put your hands or on anybody for that matter too. If you find yourself in a situation where you are not safe to people, safe to others, or you are not safe around others, you need to get yourself some help and get out. Go to your local 911, your ER, I don't care what it is. Just reach out and find help. If you find yourself in a position where you are a victim of domestic violence, I need you to right now dial 911 and rat on these motherfuckers now and get the fuck away from them. So, in the midst of dealing with the emotion that comes around this time of year, and on top of being very ecstatically happy about the new life that is growing in the spring air in Mother Gaia and all of that, because that brings me a lot of joy. I spend most of my mornings legitimately out in the sun when the weather permits, barefoot in the ground, doing my sun salute yoga. So that is very much a part of me, but there is still the trauma surrounding these people whom I loved, who I still love. So that is the elephant in the room. We also, a couple days ago, we lost a family member. My cousin Tonya, may she rest in peace. My uncle Kenny Dukes, may he rest in peace as well, out of pain. Both of them lost their battle to cancer. A couple of months ago, we lost my stepdad, David. There's been a couple other friends and family members also along the way. So it has been a very trying beginning of the year. I am very grateful that I had the time I had with the people that I had around me that are no longer here with us. I am so grateful that they're no longer in pain and no longer suffering. And I just ask that everybody kind of hug each other a little bit closer. And also approach everything with grace and love, true love, pure love, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It is okay to let go of things that don't serve you. It is okay to cry about the things that hurt you. It is important to know that forever isn't forever, goodbye isn't goodbye, and it is okay to remember and love those in your heart. You can still have love for those who aren't around you anymore, and that goes on all the levels. Honor the lessons you've learned. Honor the space you create to be able to continue to learn. And as always, if nobody's told you yet today, I love you. I'm proud of you. And go make today great. I believe in you.